We're going to read some of our beginner's Bible for bed tonight.
Yay!
Yay! We're going to read the story of David and Goliath. You know about that? It's from 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 1 through 51. The Philistines were enemies of God. Wait, their army came to fight King Saul's army. A giant soldier named Goliath yelled, "Bring out your best soldier to fight me." You want some fruit snacks while we read?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think. Thanks.
You're welcome. If your strongest soldier defeats me, we will be your slaves, he boomed. If I defeat him, you will be our slaves. King Saul's soldiers were afraid. They did not want to fight the giant. Meanwhile, young David was taking food to his brothers. They were soldiers in King Saul's army. When David reached the camp, he saw Goliath. David heard the giant's challenge. These are the soldiers. That's young David. "I'm not afraid to fight the giant," said David. King Saul called for David and told him, "You cannot fight the giant. You're too young." David replied, "God will be with me." King Saul gave his armor to David, but it was big and heavy. David wasn't used to wearing armor. This is David trying to hold up that big armor.
Ow.
David went to a nearby stream and picked up 5 stones. He stood before Goliath. The giant laughed at him, but David didn't care. He said, "I come before you in the name of the Lord who rules over all." David put a stone in his sling and ran toward the giant. Then he let the stone fly.
Yeah.
There he is, going against Goliath with God on his side.
Yeah.
It hit Goliath's forehead and he fell to the ground. The Philistines saw that their hero was dead. They ran away. David beat Goliath. Now let's read about best friends. This is from 1 Samuel chapter 16, verses 14 through 23, and verses 18 through 20. King Saul became grumpy. His servants asked David to play his harp for the king. The music cheered him up. So the king invited David to live in the palace. He played his harp. That's what harper's named for. The harps of angels. David became friends with King Saul's son, Prince Jonathan, and Jonathan's sister, Michal? I'm not sure why. David won many battles for the king. The people said David was a better fighter than the king. This made King Saul very angry and jealous. Everyone likes David more than me, he thought. Look how angry King Saul is. Jealousy is not cute. King Saul became so angry that he threw a spear at David, but David escaped. Then one day, Prince Jonathan warned David, "You must run far away." They promised to always be best friends. King David. This is from 2 Samuel chapter 1, verses 1 through 2, and 4, and 1 Kings chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. Saul chased David, but he never caught him. God watched over David. Then one day, David heard some sad news. King Saul and Prince Jonathan had died in battle. The people remembered what God had told them, and they went to find David. "David, you're our king now," they exclaimed. King David ruled over Israel for 40 years. He wrote many songs about God called Psalms. He even had plans to build a temple for God. David was a man who was dear to God's heart. When King David was old, he told his son Solomon, "You will be the next king of Israel. Be strong and obey God with all your heart. Then he will bless you." You want to read one more?
Yeah.
Okay. The last one we're going to read is "The Lord is my shepherd." This is Psalms 23. This is one of King David's songs about God. "The Lord is my shepherd. He gives me everything I need. He lets me lay down in fields of green grass. He leads me beside quiet waters. He gives me new strength. He guides me in the right paths for the honor of his name. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid. You, God, are with me. Your shepherd's rod and staff comfort me." You prepare a feast for me right in front of my enemies. You pour oil over my head. My cup runs over. I am sure that your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever. Forever and ever. That was good. I like Psalms 23. Let's put our bookmark in, so we know what we're going to read next time.
Night, night.
Night, night.